Have you ever noticed how stress makes your pain worse? Well, the reason for that is because your brain controls how much pain you actually experience. And there's a really cool product that I think could really help calm this response down inside of your body. And it's called the Muse Headband. I've actually been testing this for the past 30 days or so in my own life, and I've got some interesting data to actually share. Does this thing actually work with helping to calm down your pain response inside of your brain? Is this just another thing you're gonna waste money on and it not actually get results? Well, stay tuned. Now, before we dive into my personal pros and cons and overall just review of the Muse Band, I wanna first talk about the power of the brain and pain in our body, right? This is something that I teach with my one-on-one students inside of my Strength and Pain Relief Accelerator program. We're very focused on the mechanical side of pain, how we move, maybe it's our herniation, our bulge, things like that. But the problem is, it's not the full picture. If you've been dealing with chronic low back pain for years and years and years, you've done a lot of different modalities and treatments, and your pain is still very much there, there's more to your pain than just physical damage. There's a central nervous system response, what I call it our ingrained pain pathways, and our body becomes very fearful, it becomes very stressed, it becomes very anxious around what we can and cannot do, the life that we have lost due to pain, what we may think we'll never be able to get back to doing because of our pain, and just the reality of living with pain that we can't solve day after day after day. This taxes the central nervous system, right? It becomes very much a brain-body environment where pain is very present. So when Muse reached out to me about this, I was very skeptical, right? I'm like, oh, this is kind of weird. Like, how it's kind of like the Whoop band or the Oura ring or my Apple Watch. But what really stood out to me the most about this band is what it actually teaches you to do. Now, what this headband is, it's a tool that you actually wear on your forehead that is designed to track and measure your brainwave activity during meditation practice. It's equipped with these really unique sensors along the earpiece and across the forehead on both sides. It's actually designed to track things like your breath, your brain activity, your movement, and your heart rate. And what these EEG sensors can do is give you immediate feedback on how these elements inside of your body are performing during the meditation practice that you're doing. Now, you're probably like, well, who meditates? Like, isn't that for like hippies and tree huggers? And no offense to those people whatsoever. I was one of those people back in the day when I was living in chronic pain where meditation was the last thing that I was gonna do. And like, there's this weird kind of opinion or approach or view on meditation that really just, you imagine this like person in the forest like making these weird noises and having their legs crossed, and it's only for the really high cerebral thinking type of people who really care about that stuff. And for people like me who need to get work done, who have a busy life, they don't have time to sit and meditate. And I was actually that person who felt that meditation was just a waste of time until I started to practice it in my chronic pain relief journey. Now, this is something that I wish I had when I first started my own personal pain relief journey, because I was just kind of winging it, right? Trying to do breath work and trying to calm myself and take time out of my day to get away from the stressful things, get away from the pain and symptoms, and really just take time for myself. So if I would have had something like this, it would have really given me an opportunity to see if what I was doing was A, working, or actually being able to track progress and instantaneous biofeedback that my brain waves were actually giving me. Now, the way the Muse Headband does it is it has kind of some audible cues that it uses. So for example, when you're in a session, let's say you're focusing on stress relief or creativity, whatever it is, and I'll kind of talk about what those options are that you have. What it does is it creates audible feedback, and what it uses this feedback for is to give you audible cues to know whether or not what you're doing is actually working, or are you actually getting into a place of more calm. Let's take, for example, you're doing a session and you're in the forest. They have a forest session that you can take, and what this does is it has a lot of rain noise, right? It has a lot of storms, rain, wind, things like that that are going on. And if your brain waves are very active during that specific session, then the audible noises of rain, wind, and stormy sounds will be louder coming from your phone or your headphones, whatever you're wearing. Now, as you're going through this storm feedback, that is you trying to realign, refocus, and get your mind in a place where it's actually calming down. When you get to the point when the brain waves being measured by the EEGs in this band pick up on you actually being able to calm things down and focus on your breath and get out of that anxious, racing mind position, it actually starts to sound off chirping birds. And when you hear those birds chirping through the stormy sounds, you know that you're able to actually calm things down, that what you're doing is actually working. So in a nutshell, that is how the Muse band works. Now I'm gonna talk about some pros and cons on my own experience, really based around what I think would be massively impactful for someone who's living in chronic pain, who is highly stressed out, highly anxious, highly fearful around their pain, and how this band could really potentially change your life and put you in a position to begin to heal faster. Now, the band you see me holding here is the Muse S. There's two types of bands. One, the S, is for sleep. This is a lot softer. I actually wear a really high quality sleep mask for my eyes. Super cushiony, super soft. Sleep like a baby. And this is made with a very similar material. You do not feel these things on your body. I was already kind of used to having something across my eyes, which took me a couple weeks to get used to when I was using that months ago. But this was just a walk in the park for me. It did not bother me once at all. It has cushioning bands across the entire inside of this thing. So once it's on and once you get used to having it on, this specific band is really good for tracking your sleep. Now the other band is a lot less soft. It's a lot less squishy. I don't personally own that band, but you can look on their choosemuse.com website and see how the other one, which is a little bit, I think, more affordable, it is not designed for wearing while you sleep. It's just designed to wear while you are actually practicing meditation or looking to get that biofeedback in the moment. So let's talk about some pros with the Muse Headband. I like how they focus on the 4 key areas: the mind, body, heart, and breath. So you have guided sessions that you can do inside of the app, which you can easily download to your phone. It is an amazing app. It's very user-friendly. It walks you through different sessions, and I'll talk about other sessions that you can have here in a second. But the first pro to me is it really focuses on the key things that surround and help feed positive experiences with the central nervous system. The mind, the heart, the breath, all of these things are being impacted by the pain that we experience, right? The more pain we have, the more tense, the more tight, the more anxious we are, the more we wrestle in our mind, fearful, worried about whether we are ever going to beat this pain. And what this allows us to do is put this band on, focus on some breathing, listen to some sounds, take ourselves out of that environment of chronic pain, and actually see in the moment feedback on whether or not we are actually able to calm this response down in our body. You stack sessions like that into your day multiple times a day, your body will respond in a positive way. And if you're dealing with chronic low back pain and you are very anxious, very worried, very fearful, very tense and tight because of the pain that you've been dealing with so long, this can be an amazing tool to help lower this threat. The second pro with the Muse band is it really eliminates that fear, that thought of, am I doing this right? I know me personally, when I was doing a lot of breath work and mindfulness and desensitizing activities in my daily routine, I really never knew if I was doing it right, especially when it comes down to meditation, right? When you're taking time out of your day to be more mindful, to relax and let go and to just focus on your breath and stop thinking about your symptoms, stop thinking about your to-do list. It's really hard to measure if what you're doing is actually working because you don't know what's going on in your brain, right? We are always wrestling when we're taking time out of our day to do meditation or mindfulness. Our thoughts jump around, right? We go from one thought to the next. We lose our focus on our breath and we go back to our to-do list. And it's just a habit that keeps happening over and over when you're doing things like meditation. The cool thing about the Muse band is it's giving you feedback in the moment, as in you know whether or not your brain waves are in a position or in an environment where it is actually calming down. So it gives you confidence that what you're doing is actually working and it's actually gonna get you the results that you're here to get. Now, the third pro with the Muse headbands are the extra sessions that you can do. This is not just another mindfulness meditation calm app, right? Where you can just kind of play a sound and then now you have to just work on meditating or being mindful on your own. This gives you the feedback you need to put yourself in a position where you're calming down, but they have different types of topics or environments or areas of focus that you can take. So for example, if you're highly stressed out, if you want better sleep, if you're focused on creativity or stress relief or anxiousness or whatever these things might be that you're battling, it actually gives you guided sessions, multiple sessions in one category where it'll take you through a process, a program, I guess you can say, of focusing just on those specific topics. So if I'm having a hard time sleeping, they actually have a sleep program where if you start from the first, go to the second, go to the third, the fourth, the fifth, every session is designed to improve your sleep using this tool. Now, as amazing as the Muse headband has been in my experience, there are always cons to something like this. I want to take some time to be completely frank about what I experienced, my personal opinions of some of the things that might hold you back or create some stressful environments for you while using this band. Now, if you are interested in the Muse band, trying it out for yourself, I have partnered with them to support them. And if you choose to purchase this, make sure you get your 15% off discount. In the links of this video below, there is a unique link that will take you to the choosemuse.com website where you can pick which band is best for you and get that 15% off at no further cost to you. Obviously, if you do make a purchase, you do love your product, they will kick back some of that purchase back to me as a support that goes into this channel. So I appreciate your support in what you do for this channel. Now, the first con to this is the commitment of time. And this might be more of a personal con because of my personality, right? I have a hard time slowing down, calming down, taking time for myself. This is a true, genuine struggle that I have and have always had, and what was the biggest thing that I've struggled with while I was working through my own chronic pain journey. In order for things like this to work, you have to use it, right? And that goes with any kind of strategy that you're using for chronic pain relief. You have to do and be consistent with the effort that you're putting in. Now, this Muse band requires you to be consistent for you to use it because at first, it's going to be frustrating, and I'll talk about why here in a second, but it's going to be difficult for you to say, man, that was a perfect purchase. That was the best investment for me. You're not gonna get it right out of the box. You have to be consistent. So this is going to require a commitment of time. So a con for me went against my personality, right? Of let's just go, 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 go. I don't have time to stop. I don't have time to slow down. But that's what we need, that struggle. We need that tension of saying, hey, you may not be as good as you think you are at everything. This is going to slow you down and teach you to be more mindful, teach you to focus on you, creating that healing environment so you can actually get results. Now, the second con for me personally was how frustrated I was when I first put this thing on and did my first session. And again, it kind of plays into my own personality. I want to know that I'm doing them right. I want to do it right the first time. I want to get results the first time I do it. And what I did at first is I jumped into a kind of a storm environment. I wanted to do some just brain activity, calming, breath work. And the audible noises that my session was giving me was like rain, storm sounds, wind, things like that. And the goal is to lower those sounds and then bring up more bird sounds, more of a calm, because that's what birds mean while using this Muse headband. I could not, for the love of me, create any bird sounds, right? And it became frustrating because I had my phone, I had the audio on, I was like, I'm gonna crush this. And I was doing it, and I could not get the storm sounds to go away. And then what happens is you spiral out of control like a snowball falling down a mountain. I became more stressed, more frustrated. And there's a positive outcome to this. And what I learned is that you really have to work at this, right? This is not something that you're just gonna tap into and your life's gonna change. You're here to make a change in your brain. You're here to make a change in how your body responds and how well you're able to calm yourself down. So the con to me was I was frustrated. Now, with all cons, there's always hopefully a light at the end of the tunnel. And what I did was actually reach out, did some research, but I reached out to their customer service, and the gentleman who has been helping me understand this better and better gave me some amazing resources that are inside the actual app for people who are just starting out. So who are like, man, the noises, the audio, I can't get the storm clouds, I can't get the wind to calm down and hear those birds. They really strive to give you the best experience possible, and they give you the tools you need to actually succeed. So what was a con for me, being frustrated, turned into, again, redialing back in, rehoning back in, and really enjoying the challenge of lowering those stormy sounds, or whatever session style you're going through, whatever theme you want to dive into, lowering those sounds and bringing out those bird sounds, which is the ultimate goal. The third con is gonna come down to just having a lot of these types of things and really not knowing which one you're going to wear, right? The Muse headband is very specific. You're not gonna wear it out in public. You're not going to go to anything that has people looking at you while you're wearing this thing, right? When it comes to other products that are on the market, you're able to wear them and you wear them out and they're more socially acceptable. So this is an at-home type of thing. And whether that's a pro or a con, to me, it's more of like, I got rid of my Whoop band because it was another thing that I had to wear to track the things that I didn't fully care too much about the way some people do. So what is an amazing tool that can really change your life for someone who does not like data, who does not like looking at these metrics and looking at how their body is responding or how they're doing with certain practices, then this may not be the best tool for you. Diving that deep into data, diving that deep into feedback may not be the best fit for you. If you are already wearing all different kinds of tools to help measure different things, this will be another tool that you add to your routine that you have to wear. So some people enjoy that, some people love that. I'm kind of glad that this fits into a more of a comfortable style where I could sleep with it if I wanted to. I do not sleep with my Apple Watch. I do not have an Oura Ring. So I really don't have anything that tracks my sleep, which is why I wanted to get the actual sleep version of this band. So this fits into my specific lifestyle. I will only wear this if I want to track my sleep. I will not wear anything else, and it works for me. But if you're already wearing a bunch of stuff, this may be something that just is overkill for you to track things that you can already track in other ways. So all in all, I am a fan of this, right? There's always pros, there's always cons to every product, but when it comes to desensitizing your pain system, when it comes to learning how your body responds, and if you're already doing or experimenting with breath work and mindfulness and meditation type of things, this is a great tool that can be used by beginners and more advanced people to really tune into how they're doing it and whether or not they're doing it correctly. Again, if you want to try the Muse headband out for yourself, picking the one that fits you best, just go to the link underneath this video here. I will share the actual checkout code that you can use to get 15% off, along with the link that you can use to go to their actual site and pick the one that's best for you. Thanks for watching. God bless, and I'll see you on the next video.